Hey gang, it is Monday, March the 18th, 2018, and here is today's episode of Monday Morning Leftovers. But to be very honest, I don't really feel like talking to the camera today. Have you ever had one of those days, maybe like what I'm having today, where you just don't feel it? You just don't feel like dealing with the day. I had a terrible night's sleep last night, and honestly, I guess these last couple of weeks I have been fighting against these maybe feelings that you deal with sometimes, that I'm not effective, that I am not, that I'm not being valuable, that I'm not producing or performing professionally the way that I should be. And I've had some disappointments in friendships recently, and it just seems to all stack up every now and again. And on top of that, I'm a pastor, and we are not supposed to struggle with these types of mental health type things like depression and anxiety, or at least that's what the Christian community says. But man, I just didn't feel like it today. Just didn't feel like doing today. And for me, I guess about 5 years ago, I probably would have just pulled the covers over my head and used a sick day and just stayed home and tried to tunnel through and get myself in a better headspace. But today, I just decided I wasn't going to do that. So I got up and I made my 6-year-old breakfast and helped him comb his hair and brush his teeth and get dressed and get off the bus to school. I held my 1-year-old for a little bit this morning. I hugged my wife. I made the bed. I ironed my clothes. I got dressed. I spent about 20 minutes in just silence with Jesus. I didn't say much. He didn't say much. We just spent some time together, and I got in my car, found I had a flat tire, of course. Still haven't fixed that yet, but made my way to work, and here I am. So we're almost 3 minutes into this video, and as you can tell by now, this is not going to have anything about yesterday's message in it. But maybe, I guess the best thing I can do today is to remind you that in these moments, and you're going to have them on these days, and you're going to have them where you just those negative voices inside of your head are pounding really loud, and they're on a repeat soundtrack of that you don't measure up, and that you're ineffective, and that you're not successful, and you're a disappointment to people. All those different things. Let me just remind you what I already know. That's not the soundtrack of Jesus. That's not the Holy Spirit speaking to you. And what I know, when I opened my Bible today to study, I came across this passage in John chapter 10. I'll read it to you, where Jesus says this. He says, "I tell you, Pharisees, anyone who doesn't enter the sheep pen by the gate, but climbs in by some other way, is a thief and a robber. The one who enters by the gate is the shepherd of the sheep. The gatekeeper opens the gate for him, and the sheep listen to his voice." And in this part, he calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. And here's what I'm trying to speak over my life today. Jesus says I'm a sheep, and you're a sheep. And Jesus also says that he's given us a name. He calls his sheep by the name he gave them. And on a day like today, you know what I recognize? I've let success try to name me. I have let church growth or performance try to name me. I have let many other things in my life come and try to name me and give me a sense of worth and a sense of value and a sense of identity. And here's what I've discovered. all of those things are inconsistent, and all of those things change, and none of those things last forever, and all those things have to be achieved, and even once you achieve them, you have to keep achieving them to be somebody. And the day or the week that you feel like I'm not hitting my numbers, or these people don't agree with decisions that I make, or this friendship dissolved, or this romance evaporated, as soon as those things change, then my identity changes, and you end up having a day like I'm having today. Here's the thing. If I put my faith and my trust in Jesus, he gives me a new name, and he gives you a new name, and he gives you a different identity, and it's one that you don't have to achieve, and it's one that it's consistent. He gives you a name that lasts forever, and that way when you have success, it won't go to your head, and when you fail, it won't destroy you. So you might find, like me, you're buried under a pile of reminders of things you haven't done right today. But can I just tell you to remember to just put your faith and trust in Jesus. He gives you a new name. He gives you a new life. And some days you're on the high, some days you're on the low, and some days it's just a grind. And today for me is that grind. But I know this. I know Jesus is with me, and he's given me a name. And I know that in him I can be content whether I have success or I have failure, or I'm just making it one step at a time throughout the day. So that's Monday Morning Leftovers today. Family, I'm praying for you. I love you, and I can't wait to see you this Sunday at 10 o'clock at Perry Hall High School for church. God bless you guys.